So welcome to Challenge the Road. We are in the best plug-in hybrid hatchback, which is the Golf GTE. So that's the end, all done. But let's just go through this car, because this is our own car and I chose this 3 years ago, so it's a 2017 plate. But we'll just go through what the Golf GTE is, so you all know everything about this car from a stats point of view. So it's built in 2015. It's a 1.4 turbo with 100 horsepower electric backup. So in total it's got 201 horsepower. It's plug-in, so you get, it says on there 30 miles of electric, and it's been a brilliant car for us. You know, the Golf is just one of the best cars anyway, and this goes even further. So other stats on this car, you've got smaller boot than the regular GTI because the batteries are all in the boot on the floor plan. Dan, I think I'll start again. It didn't quite get going. And there's a horse. Horsey. So welcome to Challenge the Road, best plug-in hatchback hybrid. Golf GTE is the best, that's it. So let's tell you why. So let's just go through some of the stats. Obviously VW Golf, probably the best hatchback there is. We bought this as our own car and we've had it for 3.5 years. So I'll give you sort of a real world view on it. But first of all, let's just go through the stats so everyone understands this car. So you've got a 1.4 turbo engine with an electric battery that gives an extra 100 horsepower, but the total horsepower is 201. So 7.6 to 60, top speed 138, CO2 40. So very good CO2, only 40 grams. Tax is 140 now. Obviously these were free tax at the start, and then the government obviously realised that everyone has electric cars, they won't earn any money, so it's 140 now. But yeah, it's been a brilliant car for us. I say we've just moved up to a Q5 plug-in, which would be the next video, and you'll be able to see on that. But this car has been great, lovely size. My wife had this car for 3 years. I had it for about 6 months, and it's served us really well. So how does it work? What does it do? So you get the plug-in and it gives you roughly 30 miles. Now, in the real world is probably about 22. So you could drive, and my wife did this, to school and come back, and she hasn't used any fuel at all. So that's been brilliant because we've saved, I reckon, £150 a month on fuel. We had a McCann diesel Jeep and that was costing us about 200 a month. This costs us about 40 to 50 pounds. So one fill up a month is enough. So how it works, you drive along, and most of the time you have it in E mode because you've just come out of home and you've got it there and you can use it. Then once E mode finishes, obviously it starts to use the petrol engine, but you can recharge with the brake. So you've got the dials here, which you could have a power button and you've got a charge. So if I brake, it's now charging that battery, and that will give you obviously back up to another 22 miles of range roughly. But obviously in the sort of short trips, you're able to just sort of cruise, you're using the battery, and you can just recharge it with the braking. So you've got to learn to drive this. So the best way to drive it is hardly to use the accelerator. So I'm not touching the accelerator now, and this car will hardly lose any speed. So I'm staying at 30, staying at 30, staying at 30, braking, I'm regenerating the battery. So it's a bit weird at first when you get one of these cars, you have your foot on the accelerator, but actually you're just wasting your time. You can just get to your speed, take your foot off. I'll show you now. So we go up here, we're in a 50, but we're doing 40. I will just lift off. So I've got nothing on now, and we are 40, 40, going higher, 42, 43. So if you want to be really economical with this, you let the car do the work. You don't have to do too much. Now we just go back on, still doing 40, and we're just cruising along. So that's how you drive these cars. So what's it like to own? I mean, it's been I say a brilliant car for my wife. I've got a few little niggles with it from my point of view, but she really enjoyed this car. One, the size of the car is great for around the town parking. Two, fantastic setup. All the dials, the dash, it's all digital. The hi-fi, really good. Really love the hi-fi in here. She obviously likes pumping up that music, get all that stress out. So other bits she found really good was that she liked this dial in the front, which is telling you when you're using petrol or electricity. And I think it's probably a little bit addictive because you can go on there and you've got a power flow and you can tell. So at the moment I'm just using the battery. If I accelerate more, I'm now using I'm still on battery. So, and you can probably do up to 70 mile an hour in this car in EV mode. So I can't even get the petrol to even come in. It's actually quite quiet in here. It's pretty good. The ride can be a little bit stiff on some of the potholes. We have had a few punctures and a few bits with the tyre pressure sensor, but I think there's just so many potholes around. When you're hitting them, it's not helping. Dan, I'm just going to take a cut there. Take two, Dan. The other bits are the lights are amazing on this car at night, and this has got adaptive lights as well, so that's been really useful at night and keeps you safe. So we've been pleased with that aspect on the car. The other thing, it does have a little radar in the front, so if someone did walk out, especially at the schools, it'd brake for you. That's sort of a really good feature. Sometimes it's difficult if a stick's in the way or something and you're trying to park. Obviously it'll just jam on the brakes and skid, so you look like you can't really drive properly. But it has been a really nice feature, especially around the schools if people are coming out. Two trims on this car. You got a GTE and you got GTE Advance, and the Advance gives you bigger wheels, some more information on the sat nav and heated seats. You can also go for these options in here like leather seats and the usual sort of Golf upgrade. So they're sort of the points on the car, but what's it like to drive? Because obviously it's a GT product, so is it like a Golf GTI? No. So simple as that. I think it's nice to drive, but it does feel heavier. It's a car that doesn't feel like it wants to be hustled, so you want to just, as I say, drive it normally, enjoy it, drive it really smooth, and it's a great car. But to be hustled around and start going through the paddles, it doesn't enjoy that. So if I was driving it, you want to have a GTE mode, which is down here. So you press that. Now everything's lighting up. I can see I've got petrol and I've got electric, and accelerate feels okay, but because there's not much noise, I don't know, it doesn't feel maybe as sporty as it should because there's no noise at all. If I drop it down the gears, annual third, oh okay, a bit of noise there, but I say I didn't really find it very sporty, and for me I think it's better just turn off that GTE, go to E mode, and you can just drive it normally electric. So yeah, I mean it's pretty easy. We just keep it in E mode, drive it, and it's just brilliant to drive. So let's just run through buying one of these cars and how I thought about it and where all the values are now and why I think it's probably one of the best cars to get into. So Dan, we just cut there and we go to part 3. So, buying guide. Would you buy one? Should you buy one? Values, prices. Let's have a look. So I've done quite a bit of research before I bought this one, and I think we paid about 35,000 for this car, and it's 3.5 years old, and it's probably about 23,000 now. But you can get these cars, the original 2015 16 cars, for under £10,000. Okay, they'd be high mileage, but if you were to look at a car around £15,000, you could get an advanced spec like this one, £15,000, sort of 50,000 miles, and you have got a brilliant car. It's going to cost you hardly anything to run. It's got all, you know, the heritage of the Golf, which gives you practicality, lots of bits in here, cubby holes, and £15,000. I was actually quite shocked going on it today, because the new GTE come out is probably well over 40 now, but £15,000. And I was just running some figures, and I thought, well, if you were buying a car probably and you wanted to finance a car, you're probably better off going to like Sainsbury's or Tesco for a loan. So if you say you put down £5,000 and you finance 10,000 over 5 years, it's about 170 odd pounds a month. Then I thought, well, what else would I need on this car? So obviously it's got an electric motor and people worry about that. So I went on VW's website about getting a warranty. And a warranty for this car, everything on it, an excess of £100, is about £30. So you're really looking at just over £200 a month for this car. That's with full warranty. It's going to cost you, if you're only doing short journeys, you're not going to use any fuel at all, and after the 5 years you own it, and you'll still be fine driving it and using it because you've got a plug-in electric. So all you've got is your tax at £140. I think it's very, very good value. So if you're looking out there, you want to be more eco-conscious, you want the best hatchback that's a plug-in hybrid, I think that this is the one. And obviously we've used it for this amount of time, so we know it's the best one. And that's the things, you know, I want to show you of all the cars that I buy. I can give you some good knowledge on the cars before you go out there and either waste money or buy the wrong car. But as I say, this one has been fantastic for us. Okay, we've gone to something a little bit bigger now, and we'll go through that in the next video. But I mean, this car's coming up for sale. We're going to sell this car, and I think if it was 2020, there's so much value in this car. And you have to see the lights to believe it, to tell the truth, on the road as well. They are absolutely brilliant. So if you're moving up to this, you're going to see a big difference. And obviously in England, especially in the winter, you've obviously got the, you know, the early nights, like it's dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then you can put these lights on and it's like daylight. So it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, go and have a look at them. We'll put up some of the cars I found on here just on Auto Trader, but yeah, have a look. And I think personally, you know, it's a really, really good place to be. So hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you get a chance to do that for us. That really helps us. And, you know, hopefully lockdown will be ending at some point. We don't know when, but I'm sure hopefully things are going to get better for this year. Thanks for watching. So Dan, I'll just do another ending there, so I didn't really want to mention lockdown, so I'll try and see if you can cut that in somehow. So let's just get a verdict on this car. Yes, I think, you know, just going through them numbers, what I showed you there, I think it's a great buy. And as I say, from 10,000 upwards, you're getting into a really good car. That warranty seems fantastic value as well. You can just put the registration of the car in, and it'll just give you a price, and you can just do that online, which is what we've done with this car, because obviously it's over 3 years old now. Comes with 3 years as standard. But yeah, have a look at them, and yeah, try and like and subscribe if you can. If you get a chance to do that, that really helps us. And we look forward to doing another video soon. See you soon.